Okay, in this video, which I've done before and did not turn the audio on, I am going to show everybody how I do the witch's hat, or my witch's hat, because I don't do the normal one. Let's see if I can set this up a little bit. This is the witch's hat. It has boa, and I used a glitter ribbon, which is this ribbon. I get it at Costco, this enormous roll of glittered ribbon, $6.99 at Costco. I don't know if you can order it online, but I need to go and get more. The boa puff ball, or whatever you want to call it, gold glittered bow, and that's the back side, and there is a hanger that starts with this, the homemade wire form, wreath form. And then I also made this. Can't see very well. This is the same kind of wire wreath form, but it's a stocking, and it's made out of not glittered, and I did purple and silver because it's what I had. And I'll post a picture of that also. So what I learned in making the other video that didn't turn out is that I can't really get really good shots. I'm just not set up. So what I'm going to do before we do the hat is I'm going to show you the basis, or the basic way I do the push through with just a little form here. Then I'm going to show you, I will get part of the Santa hat done. Excuse me, I say witches, it's Santa hat done. And then I'll finish it up to the point of where it bends over, and because that's a little tricky, and I'll show you how to do that. So this glitter ribbon makes a huge mess. I have just a little bit of mesh, which I hate. I can't stand this stuff. And I'm going to show you the push through method using this on this little form, because so many people use it. This is, I don't know, 2 inches wide. And so the first thing I do is I'm going to fold this in half like this, because I need a tail on the back side. So I'm going to fold the tail like that. And if you can imagine, this is the bottom of your Santa hat, or actually it's not the bottom. We go up about yay high, because this is where your brim goes, boa or fake fur, or whatever it is you want to do, different colored ribbon. So I start probably about 3.5, 4 inches up on that hat. So I'm going to first fold this in half, or put a, 6-inch tail and squish it together. And this is the front side of my form. So I'm going to just push it straight through, and this is one of the reasons mesh is not fun with this, because you have your little ends. So I'm going to push that through, and I'm going to put a loop. You can do the loops however big or small you want. I do them about 2.5 inches. I'm going to flip it this way, and then I go to my next one, and I just push it through with my fingers, bring it up like this. This stuff stays really easy in this. This does, the mesh stays easier. The silver wired ribbon was a little more difficult. It wanted to slip out. So as you can see, I put it in this one. Now I kind of have a hole here and then here. I'm going to go ahead and put one through there instead of this one, because it kind of goes this way. I didn't get this really straight, so. And if you have wire ends, just take your pliers or whatever you're doing and push them a different way. So I'm going to bring that up through here, and I'm just pushing it through, or pulling, pushing, pulling. Maybe it should be called the push-pull method, I don't know. And then I'm going to hold again, and I'm going to continue to do that. What I found with this kind of ribbon is you need to go twice in these, but you can't do it twice. Like I couldn't do it again right there, so I have to go down, come back in that same one. So now I'm going to go into this small one right here. I'm going to push it through, grab it, and pull it through like so. And I just do that all the way across till I get to the end. This is why I don't like mesh. I have much better luck with other things. Another thing you can do if you want a more rustic look, I have some plaid material I'm going to rip into strips, and then I'm going to put one of these Santa hats together, and I'm going to find some sort of brim that is also rustic. I'm not sure what. I might tea dye some fur. That would be fun, or get a different color, something that's not white, something that's off-white. All right, and so here is my end one. So I'm going to bring it up through there. And go back and kind of look at everything. This one's a little longer. You can kind of adjust before you make the turn. I want to adjust. I go back and unfold all these when I'm all done. I don't mess with it before I'm all done with everything. So now I'm at the end, and I want another one in this one and another one in this one, but I can't go back into this one, and I don't want to do this one yet. I could, whatever's easiest. So I'm going to start my second row back in the same holes on the second one from the end, and I keep doing that. It's always the second one from the end, and then I'll pick up that other one when I'm coming back again. So now I'm going to go back into that same hole and do it again. And then again into the next one. And that's all you do with this method. And you get, I think, the same, whoops, didn't do that right. Didn't go in the same one. Need to go into this one. And the reason you want to is you can see through these if you don't. I'm sure there's some ribbon that you don't, but I even tried 2 on one on another. Yeah, it didn't work. I just go ahead and put 2 of them through. So I need to make sure I'm at the end already, that these are about the same height. There's that one. This end one always gets a little wonky because it's got that tail. But as soon as you put another one in that, it holds it a little better. And if you wanted, you could flip it over and wrap it around a couple things and tie it. So there's my second row. And it's like that. So then I'm going to start this row because I have double in this one now because I came back down. I'm going to start my third row and bring it up and make sure it's about the same height, and I just keep doing that back and forth. And I will pick up the one that has just one. I'll pick that one up and then put one here. So I'm going to go back through. I beg your, whoops, I'm wrong. There we go. We put one in this one, then I got to go back and put a second one in the second row. So you're kind of going up one and back when you're doing this. I'm going to finish my second loops in my second row. Once you do this a few times, it goes super fast. I don't like things that take forever. If I'm trying to make money at it, time is money, and B, I'm always thinking of that next thing I want to make. So, I don't know, I have ADD when it comes to crafts. So there we're at our last loop there, and if you can see, that's how it's looking, and we'll come back through and fluff it. Now I'm going to go in that first one we did. I'm going to put one up through there. You might find that you don't have to. I just did. I'm going to put it in that one. And then I'm going to come up to this next row. And I'm going to work my first go through in this one and work all the way back down again. And that's all you keep doing. Now what I do on the back is I'll pull this. I think I got my loop kind of mixed up in one of these. Oh wait, that's not one. Well, I kind of got my loop mixed up. I didn't hold on to it. Normally you have that tail down here. It's in there somewhere. You can just take a little piece of glue, hot glue, and glue it right there. But then if I take this and I pull all these things out and fluff it, I'll show you how thick it ends up looking. I'm just, oh, there we go. I was at the wrong end. There's my tail that got caught up. So, whoops, there's my tail. So what I'm going to do with that tail is I'm just going to wrap it around a couple times in different loops. And when you end up putting your material through it, and make sure I end it on the back, and then later we'll glue it, it'll be fine. So we have fluffed everything, and that's what that's going to look like. This is a little more see-through because of the mesh, but there you go. Once you get all of these rows and they're pushing this way, it won't look so see-through. The other thing I was thinking about that a person could do, if you guys like that rolled method, is you can use this and just wire it on, or you can take, I'm just going to cut this off. You can take this, bring it up through here, I don't know, cut a length of 8 inches maybe. And you might want to take a couple of them, bring it up through there, and tie it. This, of course, is unraveling because I didn't do anything to it. So you can also do that where you've got your ends and whatnot, your ribbon, and you can tie it on there. So that's how you do that. Now I'm going to go back through. I'm going to show you. I'm going to move that. I'm going to show you where I start my Santa hat, and then I'm going to turn this off and come back after I get it up to here, because right here is where I end up switching what I'm doing, and we'll flip this down. You can keep it up if that's the look that you want. You just keep going and put your tassel on the end. I like them flipped over. They remind me more of Santa hats, like that. So again, I'm going to make a tail. This is much easier to work with. And I start these, the first one I did, I started down here. Not necessary. If you are going to do a different colored mesh or ribbon or fabric or whatever you're going to do, base, then you can push that through starting down here. I don't do that. I like different mediums in my stuff, and so I use of course, a bow in the one, but we can use different. So I'm going to actually start this row probably at the first row of the actual hat, not the brim. So I'm going to start it right here, and I'm going to bring it right there, probably again 2.5 inches. And again, I'm going to work my way across all the way up to here. As soon as I get here, I will be right back. All right, so I have gotten 2 rows finished all the way up to within about 7 inches of the top. Now what we're going to do, and there's 2 rows on each one, and I've left enough room down here to put my brim, whatever it is I choose to put. Now what we want to do is we want these loops going through the back. So I'm going to bring my ribbon right here, and I am going to pop it through to the back side. So I've now popped it through to the back side, and I have a loop right there, the same length as this. And if you want to measure them, that's fine. I'm doing, just going to go ahead and do it this way. And then I am going to do exactly what I did here on the back side. So I'm going to bring it through. There's about three holes I'm bringing it through. And now I'm going to bring it up top into this small one. I'm going to go ahead and poke it through that one. And then again, I'm going to bring my second loop. Oops, I've got one of my things coming loose there. I'm going to bring my second loop into this first one at the end of that row, so I can make that a double row. And I'm going to just pull it through. And that's inside out, so I'm just going to go ahead and twist it right now. There is a right and wrong side to this particular ribbon. I know everybody's making lots of these mesh hats. Boy, it's just a pain to work with. All right, so there we go. Go ahead and put one more just for the heck of it. That finishes your hat on this side. So I'm going to cut that off and then show you what I do. So if you wanted your hat to just be a regular hat like this, you wouldn't flip it over, because flipping it over is what allows you to have that hat go over. So I'm just kind of fluffing a little bit before I do that. So now what I want to do is flip it back over to the right side. I'm going to worry about that later. Actually, I'll put it through there a couple times just so it stays out of our way. Oops, put it there. Sorry about that. I'm just taking it over there. Like so. I'm going to cut that off a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend this over. And like so, kind of make it go like that. And that's what makes the hat, where you can get this side also like this side. So, and you can have it however you want. That's probably where I like it. You can adjust it once you get your boa or your end on it. Fluff it up. I do all the fluffing after I'm done. So there is the hat like that. And see, and you can't see. You put that over like so. You can't see where it's bent over at. And it's just like that. So now what we're going to do, clean up this glitter, good grief, is I'm going to show you how I put the boa on. This boa is actually a double boa. I didn't know that till I got to the check stand. And I'm actually glad I got it, because I had a 50% coupon off at Michael's. And I will be finding this wholesale online. So these have cords. That's what they attach all the feathers to. So I just cut it off at the cord right there. You can put a piece of glue at the end, hot glue there. And I'm just going to measure my brim. And so I take it like so. Let me see. And I want to make sure that it's not hanging too far over, but maybe just a little bit. So I cut it, I pretty much cut it right at the end. So the one on my left, where my fingers are moving, I'm going to hold on to that right there. And I'm going to move those feathers apart. And I'm going to cut. just like that. And then I use wire or all different things, but I have white wire ties, and I'm out of better gauge wire right now. I have to go to the store, so I'm going to use this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that in half like that, and at the very end I'm just going, this is the end of my cord, and I'll glue that when I'm all done. And yes, you'll have feathers coming out, but they stop coming out. So I'm just going to take this wire tie and I'm just going to put it on either side of the cord like so. So it's going to come through like that. Then I'm going to take that and I'm going to wire it, put it through. This thing's kind of heavy. I am going to put it through, find my end. There we go. Whoops, I better put that down. I'm all twisted. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it through, make sure it goes through one hole and then another. And I'm going to flip it over on the back. And I'm just going to twist it. You could probably actually use half of one for each. And then just cut it off and save those feathers and put them on Christmas ornaments. Or you could stick them in here. You could do all different kinds of things. Now I'm going to do the other side, and then I do the middle. So again, I'm just going to find the end of my boa. And I'm going to stick it through both sides, kind of through the feathers. Gives it something to hang on to. And there we go again, like so. And then I am going to stick it through this end and that end right there. I'm going to flip it over and tie it again. I've got all kinds of boa coming out there. And cut it and bend it over. I'm going to go ahead and use one of those short ones and bend it like this. Take it through the middle. I usually do a couple. This one's pretty tight, so I'm just going to do one. Put it through the middle of that and flip it over and find it and twist. And that one's pretty short. I might cut it off anyway. So that's all there is to that. Be sure and hot glue your ends, and you can fluff everything up. And I do go back through and trim some of these feathers. This one's really coming out. That doesn't normally happen. So probably what I'd do, being more is coming out on here, is I would take some of these feathers and glue them in there just to make it even on both sides. And while I have this, I want to show you how I do a hook. This is going to, if you hang this in the middle, it's not going to hang right. So you want to put your hook probably closer to, oh, now this is opposite than what I did. So my hook's going to go over on the right hand side a little bit, and I'm just going to take my wire tie and I'm going to bring it through one of the pieces of chicken wire and do it like that and cut it off. I bring the tied end down so it's in the mesh, pull it tight and twist it. So there's my hook. I don't have anything to hang on to show you how it goes. So now I'm going to run and get my glue gun and show you how I do this part. I will be right back. Okay, so we have our brim on, and now I'm going to show you how I do the little thing at the end. I'm going to take the very end. First of all, I'm going to cut a piece of wire, or I can use one of those wire tie ends that I had. And I'm going to take that end and figure out how big of a piece I want. And I probably usually cut enough just to flip over. So I'm going to take it and go like this. So I'm probably cutting, I don't know, 5 inches, somewhere like that. I'm going to find that cord in the middle and I'm going to cut it. Now, what I'm going to do on both of those ends is I'm going to put some glue on that, which I should have done with that hat. My glue gun is so terrible, and of course I don't have any glue sticks. I will be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is find that cord. I'm going to stick a glob of glue on it, like so. I'm going to let that dry, flip it over, find the other side. I already put some glue on it. And there it is. I'm going to put a glob of glue on that and just do that. I'm going to let it dry. Then I am going to find both ends and join them. The first one I did, I just glued together. These I am wiring. So, take, it's still a little hot. Then I'm going to take my wire tie, and again, I'm going to push my way through those feathers. There's one popped up, and then I'm going to take it through the other side. And I'm going to wire this together like so, just like that. Then I'm going to take that wire, see there's your little, the end. I'm going to take that wire after we finish this. So what we want to do with this, we brought it through a couple times, so I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more because I have my glue gun. I'm going to stick some glue on that. And you can also wire it for the, you know, some people don't like working with glue guns, and I don't blame them. I think my fingers are just numb to them. So that's put right there. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to find my ends to my, and make your ends longer than that. My ends are pretty short. And I'm going to actually put it through part of this ribbon and through one of the holes in the back, and make sure that I'm attaching it to one of the wires. And then I'm just going to twist just like that, and it's attached. And again, you can trim up your feathers and whatnot. So now that glue, now you have your Santa hat with that, and you can move this down a little bit or out a little bit to the side, however you want to do it. So there you go. We're at that point, and now we're going to make a bow to, well, what side am I going to put it on? I might put it on there. We'll look. So I'm going to use this ribbon. It's a little different than what's on my other ones. I love gold ribbon. And cut some of this off. Okay. Red glitter all over. Take about 8 inches and put it together like that. I'm going to make a loop that is right about 4 inches. Make another loop. This has a definite right side and a wrong side, so I'm going to have to twist my ribbon just a little bit. And then put my second loop there. And bring this way so I can make another loop just like that. So now we've got 2 loops. Now I could just leave it like that and put it right on there, but I think I'm going to do one more to go in here because I'm going to put some beads, some red beads that go down the middle. I like red beads and stuff, and I have so many I need to use them. So I'm going to make this one a little shorter. That one's going to be about 3 inches. And then twist that in my thumb. And there's the other side. So there we go. There's that bow, like so. I'm going to take my ribbon, or I mean my wire, do just like this and bring it around. Put that wire right between those 2 fingers and just twist hard. Don't cut it. So now I've done that. Now I'm going to go get my red beads because I didn't bring those out either, and show you how I attached those. So again, if this piece of ribbon is slanted down that way, I'm going to take the one on the other side and go the opposite way. I'm probably going to trim this up more, but that leaves this ribbon ready to make another one without wasting any. I'm going to take these beads, I'm going to take this ribbon or this wire that's already on there and loop it around there to attach. You can use glue, but this is way easier. So there you go. I have my beads and I'll trim it all up once I get it on there. And then I've also brought out some little red pine cones that I'm going to put on there, and I could actually wire those on. I was going to glue them on, but they have little loops on them and I've already wired it together. So I'm going to go ahead and put a wire through the middle. I just wired all 3 of them. And the same thing, wired all 3 of them together. Put them back through there again. I wouldn't have cut that wire if I'd thought about this. And put it through there. So now what I'm going to do is twist that, and instead of gluing this, depending on what it looks like when I get it on, I'm going to take one of the wires on top of the bow and one on the bottom. I'm going to put that in like that and hold it with my finger or my thumb and bring this around like so, and bring that top one. I'm going to grab all 4 of those wires and I'm going to twist just like that. And there's no need to cut anything off, just separate them 2 and 2 like that. So there you have a pretty little bow with some pine cones for your hat. So we will trim that up, bring that forward. I'm going to at least cut these off to here right now. So we have to decide which side, where are we going to put this? And I think I'm going to put it right there. So on this hat, I'm going to actually put it above the boa and onto the red part. And again, I'm going to separate my wires and I'm just going to run them down through the red ribbon part on one side. It'd be easier with one wire instead of 2 on one side, but that's all right. We'll just do it this way. Or maybe we won't. Just run it through there. Well, maybe. So I think I will go ahead and cut one of those wires off because it's wanting to catch. Sometimes you just learn by doing. Okay, so I'm going to separate those and I'm going to much easier. I'm going to run one through to the back, then I'm going to run another one pretty close, within an inch, but I got to make sure that it's going through a different wire hole on the back, so you've got something to twist it around in. And that one is through the back. You could also do these with the pipe cleaners. So there we have that. It's all squished, but it has an idea. And that, I like things at an angle. I don't like them straight down. And so that's where I'm going to put that. So I'm just going to twist this around on the back again and cut it off. Just tuck those in. Here's another one that we had where we started. I'm just going to take that around a couple times, like so, and around there. And I'm going to cut it off and put a dab of glue on it, and that is secured. If you have a lot of glue spiders, after you're done with your whole wreath or hat or whatever, all you have to do is take your hairdryer to it and it will melt all of those. So there is our hat. So now I'm going to puff out that bow, fluff it nice and pretty, and make sure that my ribbon isn't too long. And there you go. There is your Santa hat. And like I said, you can put oops, where's the other end? There we go. You can put whatever you want in the middle. You know, there's a whole bunch of different options, and you can fluff all that up, and there you go. There's a Santa hat. And I also wanted to show you I already did show you the stocking, and I'm going to show you what the wire frame looks like to that. I did show it in the tutorial about how to make them. So that's the size of that particular stocking. You can make it any size you want. But there's your Santa hat, and there's a lot of interest in buying these in this neck of the woods. So hopefully you can make a lot of them in your neck of the woods and sell a lot. So happy crafting, and hope you have a good week, and thanks for watching.